I think it's absolutely wonderful. I'm thrilled to win the ITF Young Researcher of the Year award. It's amazing. It gives so much attention to our work, to this domain. It's really wonderful. So our research model is generic enough to be applied in some ways. What we did was we had access to the travel patterns from the anonymized smart card data. But if any other city has a similar data on the travel patterns combined with an aggregate level income data, so if you have disaggregate level income data, that's even better. But we used aggregate level income data. And the third data set we need is the network, the route networks. So if the city has these three, they can just replicate the analysis. Of course, the model variables would be different depending on the structure of the city and what things are important. But yeah, that's generic enough otherwise. So I think the trends that we observed and the model we developed was specifically based for the things that we were looking at in Amsterdam. But if we want to apply the same model to another cities, then we had to look at what kind of variables are important. So I'll give you an example. In case of Amsterdam, we have the river which separates the city, due to which there are certain areas in the north which have longer detours. So this might not be relevant for any other city, and there might be other variables that are relevant. So they need to incorporate while building the model based on the local knowledge. I think along with the research on the emerging technologies and what's the future going to be like, I think more attention could be paid on bringing the research and practice together. So using the methods that are already developed and applying it to the real world problems to see what works, what doesn't work. I think also we tend to build a lot of models in transport, and I think there's not a lot of studies focused on the validation of them. So I think these kind of things where it's bringing more realism to this, I think more attention could be paid there, along with this other research about the futuristic technologies and how the world is changing. So this was my first time at the International Transport Forum Summit, and it was absolutely wonderful. It was great to meet all the politicians and policymakers, hear all the discussions, which are so different from the typical academic conferences that I'm used to, because it gives you a different perspective from the different side. So I really enjoyed it.